What's up, man? Welcome back to Rocha Style. So today I'm going to be talking about hunting gear, what to take out with you in the fields, where you can possibly get this stuff. It's not that bad. You can find a lot of good sales on this stuff too. Generally, when you're looking for equipment, if you're thinking about going out for your first time, go after hunting season is over, because when you do that, that's when all of the cool stuff goes on sale. Whether that's boots, pants, shirts, vests, whatever it may be, go after the season, because that's when that stuff is usually half off. You can find great deals. So this particular video is going to be geared towards the hunter who hunts in Florida. There's lots of areas where people hunt that have different types of terrain, whether you live in Colorado, Tennessee, Illinois, where some big bucks, elk, things like that. The terrain is completely different. Out here in Florida, it's a completely different style. I mean, if you don't go out there protected, you are going to get swarmed by tons of types of bugs, Jurassic Park sized mosquitoes, literally. So I'm going to show you some of the gear that I use when I go out into the field, and hopefully it'll give you a better idea of what it's like hunting out in this type of terrain, or what you can use for any other place you might be and adjust accordingly. So let's go ahead and check it out. Alright, so the first thing is this is pretty much your general setup. So right here I have a really thin shirt. You definitely don't want to use anything that's cotton, because it's going to be really heavy and thick. So this is I went long sleeve with it. I know it seems like, wow, you're wearing long sleeve, it's hot. It's actually not. It's very thin material. It's nice. I have to wear it on my sleeves. I can't wear a short sleeve because the bugs would just completely attack. The pants that I'm wearing here are basically just Field and Stream pants. They are basically hydro repel, so they're waterproof. Obviously, that's what that means. So if the rain gets on it, you're not going to be fully soaked up. I like them a lot. They're really comfortable, and they're not so hot that if I'm sitting out and about, it's going to be that hot. I do have a lighter pair, which you can get a lighter pair just to make sure that you're not overly hot. But this is basically the first setup. You also want to get yourself a hat, because if the sun's beaming down, sometimes I'll wear shades, but not usually, because when you're shooting and stuff like that, you don't want to have to worry about your sunglasses. So I would definitely not recommend that, but you can if you like. And this is basically your general setup of what you're going to take. So definitely a long sleeve shirt. I really love Field and Stream. It's one of my favorite brands. A lot of people like Realtree. I have a couple things like that too. But again, the brand doesn't necessarily matter as much. You want to make sure that it's comfortable on you, that it feels good, because you're going to be sitting out there for hours. So you want to make sure you have something that's really going to make you feel good. So let's take a look at some of the additional pieces that you have to get to go along with your garb. Alright, so definitely the most important thing that you want to get, especially when you're hunting out in Florida, because there's a lot of different swampland, is a really good set of boots. Now notice, these are really tall. They're very thick leather. They are waterproof. You definitely have to have them waterproof. Otherwise, if you're walking through bits of water, it's going to just seep right through. These are great. They have a really nice lining. Again, these are Field and Stream boots. They are snake proof, and the reason why we have that, especially out here in Florida, is because we have lots of rattlesnakes. We have lots of cottonmouths. We have basically a lot of reptiles out here, so you want to be careful. We also have gators. Not saying that these are going to completely repel you against a gator, but it certainly protect you if it should happen to swing around and try to take a bite out of your leg. This is going to give you some kind of protection. So you definitely want to get a very nice set of boots. These are priority. I think these were about 150 bucks. I got them on sale, but again, these have lasted me for 3 seasons. They're still completely good and intact. So you definitely want to get a nice pair of waterproof, snake-proof boots if you're hunting out here in Florida particularly. Alright, so now we're going to talk about headgear. And I currently have this Field and Stream hat. I really like it. The reason why I like it, and I bought it because it was hard for me to choose a hat, especially because during certain seasons, like rifle season, you have to wear a lot of orange because people have to be able to see you. Archery, you do not have to do this, obviously, because nobody's, you're not in the pathway of a rifle. It can't shoot as far. I like this hat because it's reversible. So I can use this for archery, it's just complete camo, and then it basically will turn itself around, and then you have the orange when you go out for rifle season. And this is really, really cool. That's why I bought this. Again, this was about 20 bucks. Wasn't bad. It's really comfortable, and that's why I like it, because I have like a 2-in-1 hat. The next thing, if you're out in Florida too, that you have to have when you go out hunting, especially when it's not cold out, is you have to have some kind of face mask or mesh. I currently don't use the one that covers my face completely, just because I don't really like it as much, but you have to have something like this, because those bugs, no matter how much you're going to spray yourself down, which I don't really spray myself down as much because I'm not really a fan of the DEET, but they will attack everywhere. That's why I have this long sleeve, this turtleneck, because I'm telling you guys, they will go straight after your neck. They will go into your ears. So this is really, really cool because you can just put this on. It's got a nice opening right here that you can stretch across. Now, the only kind of downside with something like this is that you have to, it kind of blocks your peripheral visions a little bit, so you have to kind of make sure that you turn your head if you want to see something. Now, sometimes people have it like this, which makes it a little bit worse. I like to stretch it out because then it kind of gives me more range to look to my left and look to my right. I just have much more vision. And then what's cool is you can go ahead and just, slide your hat right over the top of it, make sure it's pulled down, and now you're nice and comfortable. You got something to cover you over, and this is going to be a lifesaver for you. They can't get at your neck, they can't get at your ears. I mean, I'm telling you, it's really bad out here, man. These bugs are crazy. Even the flies, I've even had it where they cover over my hands like that, and if I don't have gloves on because it's too hot, they will attack my fingers. Not even kidding you. They will land and attack your fingers. So I'll show you some other stuff that we're going to be going through that will help repel them. The other thing that you're going to need is a headlamp. The reason why is because when you get out there early in the morning, you're not going to be able to see anything when you're walking out there to getting to your spot where your tree stand is set up and all of that. So you definitely want a headlamp, and essentially this just will go right over the top of your hat, just like that, and it kind of flips down. I got this one, it's a Field & Stream, and this will allow you to see in the dark, have a little indicator in case you have to signal your buddy. And that will allow you to be able to see when you head out there, because it'll be dark as ever, and yeah, you got to be able to find your way through the woods. So this is pretty much all of your headgear that you want to get. If again you're in Florida, it definitely is a must. You have to have it. So let's go ahead and check out some other items I'll show you that we need to bring, and yeah, let's check it out. All right, so in addition to the orange that's on the inside of my hat, you still have to have a little bit more coverage during rifle season. So you definitely want to have an orange vest. This is a must. You have to have it. You cannot hunt without it during muzzleloader season, any rifle season or small game season. You have to wear an orange vest. The only time you don't have to wear orange, again, is during archery season. This I really, really like because for small game season, you have the little shell holes. So if you're like me, and out here in Florida, I use a shotgun for all of my hunting, for deer, for boar, and I can just simply change the loadout to do waterfowl. But it's nice because it's got these little shell holders here in the front, big pocket storage right here, where this is where I keep my gloves. And I always take this out with me whenever I go, and it's nice because it's really, really, really comfortable. You set it on, it doesn't ride too low on your body. And it's just got a small little vest here. Nothing big, nothing that goes down all the way. And it's just nice and comfy. I also like this one too because of the fact that it's got these inside pockets right here. This goes all the way around to your back. So what's great is if you're doing waterfowl hunting or you're doing squirrel hunting, something like that, anything small game, you basically can take your game and you stuff it back here, and it's got room right in here to where that's where your game sits. That way you don't have to carry it in your hand, stuff like that. So definitely one of these is a must. Now the second thing that I would, not even the second thing, but we've gone over so many things. This right here is an absolute must if you are hunting in Florida. This is called a Thermasil. This is a mosquito repellent. Now, many people will argue it works flawlessly, it doesn't work flawlessly. If you're covered up pretty good and you have this thing turned on, most of the time you're gonna be good. It does not repel ticks. So I think the stuff you want to use for ticks, I think, is Permaform. But I don't usually have too many problems with ticks. I don't know why, I just don't. Maybe they don't like me, but this thing is great. It comes with a cartridge on the bottom, and all you're gonna do is you just you twist in the cartridge in, and then it comes with these little pads. They're like blue, and you stick it on the inside of this, you turn it on, and then you push the button and it heats it up. And it lets off like a smoke, and you have to change out the pad in it because it'll go from blue to white. That's how you know when it's worn down or when it's done. So this is a must. You have to have this if you're hunting in Florida. Otherwise, you know, you'll be repelled off and everything, but they will eat you alive if you don't have this. It also has a clip on the back, so when you're walking, I usually turn mine on before I get out in the woods, and I just kind of clip it to my belt, which I don't have my belt on at the moment. But you can clip it on like that, or I clip it on my belt, and then basically you walk through the woods and it lets off that fume, and they stay away from you as much as possible. So definitely Thermosil all day long. Okay, so next order of business is you definitely want to get yourself a light jacket. Even though here in Florida it's still hot through most of the time out of the year, it does get cold during the December small game seasons, general gun. Especially January, so you definitely want to get a light jacket. This one keeps pretty warm. It's also water resistant, so the water pretty much just falls off. So definitely a light jacket you definitely want to take. So pretty much like, you know, kind of dress yourself like for winter almost, but out here you got to be careful because again, it's still around 65 degrees when you're out there at the beginning of the season. So I probably won't wear this. I'll probably just wear the shirt. But during the colder time, you definitely want to wear something like this. The next thing I'm going to show you is this is absolutely a must if you are going to hunt. This is a tree harness, and hopefully you guys can see that. There's a lot of guys who fight against this. They trust the tree stand that they're in, whether that be a climber, a ladder stand, whatever it is. Specifically, I would say climbers more than not, you have to wear one of these. There's a lot of guys, some guys I know that don't, and I don't agree with it because if you fall out of that tree, I mean, you could seriously injure or kill yourself. There's been so many people that I've read about that have fallen out of trees because they just won't wear a harness because it bothers you or it doesn't feel good. Well, this could potentially save your life. If your tree stand malfunctions or something happens, it's just better to be safe than sorry. I really like this one. When you buy a tree stand, they send you a harness, but a lot of them are just kind of flimsy. They come as like an additional option. I bought this one alone, and it was a little pricey. It was about 70 bucks. It's a brand called Muddy, and I really, really like this. And all you're gonna do is you're just gonna flip it over. And it's so easy to put on. I don't know why guys complain about it. And you're just gonna slip your feet into it, just like that. And it is a little unorthodox because you're trying to deal with all of the wires and stuff like that. This thing's great, or not the wires, but the straps. This thing's great because it doesn't really ride up you too hard. And sometimes that can be uncomfortable. But again, you know, would you rather have it riding on you or be completely safe? And that's where I say it's all about the safety aspect. So just gonna put it on like that, make sure it's all the way up. And what this does is it has it's got an umbilical, so it protects you, and you can use it while you're climbing, which I use it while I'm climbing as much as possible. And as you can see, it's got a strap right here. You put this around the top of the tree. So when you're about to climb, you undo this strap, you put it around, it stays in front of you. And as I climb, I keep pushing it up higher and higher because a lot of the times what happens is if you don't have a rope that will hold together your tree stand, which I do, but still, if you're climbing and your feet come out of it, what are you gonna do? You're gonna be dangling there, and then you're only holding onto the top. you're gonna have to drop. So this protects you, so that way you can let yourself down slowly and restart again if you need to. I keep it completely strapped, just straps like that, and it also comes across your body just like this. And there you have it. And this basically, you definitely have to have this if you're going to be climbing a tree. It's just better to be safe than sorry, folks. You don't want to be climbing that tree and have something happen where you're sitting up there and all of a sudden it crashes or something goes on, and then you're going to fall 20 feet and it's not going to be pleasant. Like I said, I've known guys that have just, their lives have been ruined because they didn't wear this, and then something happened and they fell out of a tree at 20 to 25 feet, and they seriously injured themselves bad. So definitely don't, take that risk. Get one of these. Muddy is a really great brand. It feels really, really comfortable. And then when you're sitting down in your stand, you have this up there on the back of you and you can feel safe. You just feel better when you're up there and much more comfortable. And when you're much more comfortable, then you're able to take a real good shot and you're not worrying about falling. All right, so that's just a rundown of all of the equipment that I use or take out with me in the field. There is one more thing though that I do take, and this actually belongs to my wife, but I kind of stole it from her. It's got the little Mayo Clinic thing on it, but is a bladder bag. Definitely get a bladder bag that has the spout where you can drink. I don't like to move. A lot of guys, they'll go out in the early morning and they'll sit out there, and then they end up getting down in the afternoon if they haven't seen anything, and then kind of heading back to the truck and then coming back out. I don't do that because you usually scare stuff that's in the area. I mean, hunting can be daunting, so especially if you're hunting on public land, which is pretty much where I hunt. I don't have any private land. I try to stay out there. So I take a bladder bag with me, I take some snacks, something to eat on while I'm out there. That way I don't have to get down and nothing is scared. It hears me when I'm coming out of the woods, and nothing hears me when I'm coming back into the woods. Because every time you move in animals in the area, it'll take them another 2 hours for them to even want to come back remotely in that area again. So if I get down and there's some 6-point buck or a huge hog in the area, I'm going to scare it away, and I don't want to do that. So definitely a bladder bag is awesome to have, just because you got water, everything you need. Of course, if you have to go to the bathroom, well, you're either going to have to hold it or try not to eat too much during the day. So I hope that you've enjoyed this. It kind of hopefully it gives you an idea of what you can take with you. I've collected this stuff over time, so it's definitely stuff that you don't have to buy all at once. You can get things here and there, and again, wait for those sales after the season is over, because you can go in and buy stuff for practically half off, if not more than 75% off, because those are just going to sit on the shelf in those retail stores. So hopefully you've enjoyed the video. I'll try to put out some more content a little bit more quickly. Definitely going to get into some fishing stuff here pretty soon. I know some of you guys are waiting for that. So thanks again for watching, and I'm out. Pwah!